Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast, your home for discussions and debates about all things animation. Each week, we'll rank, review, and revel in animated shows from yesterday and today, and from around the world. So grab your Acme slingshot, set your mobile suit to autopilot, and put on your mouse ears. The Animation Station Podcast begins now.
Whatever that's called again. Star Trek something or other. I can't remember. Orville premieres this weekend.
That looks interesting.
Yeah, right?
Definitely looks interesting. I do like Seth MacFarlane and his humor. I think it could be good.
That was an underrated show.
What?
Andromeda.
I never saw that.
Oh man, it was so good. It had Hercules, Kevin Sorbo in it.
Really?
Yes, he was
nice.
He was the main dude.
Nice.
It was a great show that got no love. I think it went for like 5 seasons.
Really?
Yeah.
It was what, in the early 2000s?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
It was one of those ones that was on like WB at like...
So what, would it have been competing with Voyager?
I don't know what it was competing. Competing against Farscape, maybe?
SG-1?
Yeah, Farscape at SG-1. I
Yeah.
guess that would be the only thing that I could think of.
Huh.
Back when sci-fi used to be good.
Yeah.
And now we don't...
Is it actually good, Andromeda?
It's actually a really good show.
Really?
Like, it's one of those where you're like, oh...
I wonder if it's available anywhere
I don't
to
know.
stream.
It's one of those you're like, oh, this was actually a good show.
Nice.
Huh. Why didn't I watch all of this?
Nice.
I don't know anybody that remembers Andromeda.
Yeah, I never saw
Nobody
a single
remembers
episode of
Andromeda.
it.
Nobody remembers Cleopatra 2525. Oh, what was that? What was that show with?
Never even heard of that one.
Yeah. In the year 2525. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Wow, I know that song from the 60s.
Yeah, they basically did Cleopatra 2525.
Okay.
Oh, what else was it? What was that?
What was that crappy...
You Don't Know Jack? That show
what
with
that is,
Vern Troyer was in that show.
Wow.
And help me out. Who's the guy from Evil Dead?
Bruce Campbell?
Bruce Campbell was in that show. He was Jack. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I never heard of that one either.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, I sail around the bloody world to defend democracy. And don't worry about it.
Nice. You know a lot of things that only
I know
you
a lot of garbage. I know a lot of garbage.
That's hilarious.
And Beastmaster? Do you remember Beastmaster?
I do remember Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the movie.
No, the show. Yeah. Yeah.
That dude gets a...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That probably sounded like garbage in the microphone.
No, it sounded awesome.
You can't hear.
Good point. I remember that one, and then there was another one like it that came around the same time. What was it? Gosh, I'm not going to be able to remember it. But there was
Xena.
There was Xena, but there was another one I thought that was... Oh, wasn't there one about Hercules?
Yeah, there's Hercules.
Okay.
The Adventures of Hercules,
Yeah.
starring Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah. So, like, all of those kind of bleed together, like, scenes from those in my mind. They're all the same show.
I don't know which one came first. I think Hercules came before Xena. I don't remember. Or if Xena came before Hercules.
I think Xena came first.
Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. And
Yeah.
then Lewis and Clark.
Isn't that the
Adventures
same
of Lewis
girl
and
that
Clark?
shows up in Parks and Recreation and Ron Swanson marries?
Who?
Did you watch Parks and Recreation?
Yeah, I got your wife into Parks and Recreation.
Xena. Isn't she the actress? This is the same
Yes.
actress that ends up in that show?
Yeah, she's the one that marries
what I
Ron.
thought. Okay.
I thought you were talking about his like actual wife.
No.
Who plays his wife?
No.
From Will and Grace.
No, that was amazing. But
Whose
no.
name I can't remember. Oh, she was Karen on on Will and Grace.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I can't remember.
Dang it.
This has been another terrible Hollywood family tree beginning.
Oh no, it's a great way to start our animation podcast. So welcome to the Animation Station podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Gavin.
And we're absent of Corey this week.
Aww. We just got used to him.
I know, he's gone forever. We kicked him.
He'll be back next time, right?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I hope so. We miss you, Corey.
Sure.
I miss you, Corey.
There you go. All right, Gavin. So anything cool happened this weekend?
I mean, not a whole lot animation-wise that I can think of. I heard a pretty good Beatles remake from that show Beat Bugs that James Corden sings, and it was pretty awesome. So
Yeah, sounds great.
I was listening to the Beatles station on Sirius XM radio, and it came across, and I was like, oh, here's another good song. I've still only watched the first 2 episodes of that show. I need to go back and actually watch that first season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it for me.
I cannot find any of the Trollhunter stuff at Target.
Really?
I looked at ours. They got none. I'm gonna have to go to the good one. I'm gonna have to go to Norman Target.
Oh, is that a super Target?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the best
that
Target
stinks.
in the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, you've touted its virtues for years.
I mean, only because I go to these other ones up here, and I'm like, this is garbage.
Yeah, the 2 right here in Northwest Expressway
They
are kind of
suck.
scary. Yeah, they're very Walmart-y is what they are.
We had the season finale of Game of Thrones this weekend, or last weekend, actually.
Featuring animated dragons.
Yes,
I'm
they
sure.
were.
Yeah.
It breathed blue fire, and I'm okay
Ooh.
saying that as a spoiler because it's a week old.
Blue fire is this,
Blue fire.
It's a spoiler that it's blue.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Why?
And it's
why is
got
that a
it's got
spoiler?
holy wings. Cause
Full of holes,
it's,
or
it's dead.
Saintly.
It's like a zombie dragon.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make it more dangerous? Because you can't kill it,
Kinda.
really?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you kill it. I mean,
Remove the head or destroy the brains.
no. With these guys, you gotta kill them with either Valerian steel or dragon glass, which is obsidian.
Oh,
So-
okay.
But I think what they're gonna do, because never mind. We'll talk about that on the Game of Thrones podcast.
Okay, cool. I can't wait for that one.
Sure. Barry and Joe.
Yes!
In the news.
In the news.
Barry and Joe, the animated series, has been funded.
Fully funded. Ah, yeah. I'm excited.
It got funded, I think it got funded Wednesday night, so just a little bit before the...
There was less than 24 hours
Yeah.
left. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's incredible, man. With 3 days left, they still had $20K to go or something like that.
I
And
told
just
you,
to
man.
see-
I told
you
you,
were
man.
totally right. You were totally
That's
right.
how Kickstarters work.
That's awesome, though. It's really cool to see it happen. It was a rough time to be trying to raise money, with everything that's going on in Houston and other parts of the world with all the crazy weather and damage from that. But I'm really happy for Adam Reed. If you guys haven't listened to that interview that we did with him a couple weeks ago, go back and listen to it. Man, I'm excited. Now, this was just funding for the pilot, right? So
Yeah,
they're going
just
to
the
create
pilot.
a fully realized pilot and then pitch that. And then hopefully either during that process or once they get it done, they can get it greenlit as something they can put into production.
Yeah,
That would be
hopefully Adult Swim gobbles that up.
That would be cool.
That would be nifty.
I could see them doing it. I could see them snagging it up. I could see it being on one of the streaming services, though, too.
Yeah.
Netflix or Hulu, one of those.
Yeah, I could see a Netflix doing something like that and, popping down X amount for 10 episodes or something like that.
Right, because they do shows like BoJack Horseman and, things like that. And I don't know, I think it would kind of slide right into those audiences.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Also in the news, the extremely popular Japanese anime film A Silent Voice, which is... here we go. Oh, Lord. Ko no Katachi... Ko no Katachi.
Nice.
Where we're going to go with that.
It
A Silent
sounded
Voice.
beautiful to me.
A Silent Voice is going to be making its American debut
Cool.
on October 20th.
Nice.
So hopefully we'll get some Fathom stuff and we'll keep everybody apprised of when that comes out.
So who's bringing it here? Is it G Kids?
It's not G Kids. It's a different studio.
Okay.
Whose name I did not write down.
Okay. Are they dubbing it? Is Funimation
Don't know
dubbing
yet.
it? And we don't know anything about
Nope,
it yet.
we
We
know
just know
nothing.
it's going to come
We know
here.
all we know is that they're bringing it over.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're gonna do something where they're like, okay, here's a limited release, kind of like what they did with Your Name. Here's a limited release, and then here's a full release with a dub sub.
Nice. So is this like the next big thing out of Japan? Like, is it kind of like the super popular movie right now, or
kinda? It was one of those, like, it was competing with Your Name for a while.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, Your Name just it kills.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really good. I read the manga. I thought the manga was really, 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 really good.
Can you give us a synopsis?
Very sad. Yeah, it's about this little deaf girl who goes into, well, it's kind of about this main character. Little deaf girl comes to school, and, being a child, you don't really get that, and so you pick on her. And so he picks on her, and then she ends up having to leave school, and then he's the one that gets picked on.
Yes.
So we have that fun turnaround, and then, it's afterwards, I think he goes to a different school, moves into the city to live with his sister, I think. And he goes and ends up finding her again. Keep hitting my mic. Finding her again in college.
Right.
So then it's like, okay, now he wants to
make amends.
Yeah. But then he also starts to fall in love. And then they try to commit suicide.
Oh my gosh, they're Romeo and Juliet.
It's a fun little thing.
All right. Well, yeah, I think you described that one to me before, and now that you talk about it, it sounds familiar. Cool, man. I'm excited. Does the animation look good?
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Cool.
I mean,
Sweet.
I haven't. It's a lot of stuff.
I think you showed me that picture before.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's definitely one of those. From what I've heard, it would be better to read the manga first before you see it, because there's a lot of characters that they don't really go into because they only have like 2 hours to do it. So they can't really put 10 volumes of a manga in 2 hours. So
right. Do you feel like the Japanese films, do you feel like those filmmakers really assume more often that people have read the manga
I would
over there?
assume, yes.
Because I don't feel like movie makers here make movies that way. They assume that, not everybody's read the book.
Movie makers here are like, people are stupid. They don't know what the source material is.
To re-explain everything. Yeah. I feel like in
and
Japanese
that is
films,
definitely a problem with Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
Especially in the earlier seasons. They're like, people didn't read this book. They don't know what's going on, so we have to explain it to them. And as a book reader, you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, I know. Just... you missed some stuff, but it's okay. I guess it won't matter.
Yeah.
Matter on down the road.
Yeah, I remember when that show started, I was still at Barnes & Noble, and everybody got hooked on the show, and then we sold out of everything George R.R. Martin, and then the shipments started rolling in, and we just started stocking more and more of it, because I would say the vast majority of fans of that show had not read the books before it started.
I got into that back in 6th grade. When one of my friends, Alex, he was like, "Here, read this book."
Wow!
Like, you like Lord of the Rings and all that jazz, so I'm like, "Okay, cool." Right? I'm like, "There's intercourse in here." Ooh. So obviously,
tantalizing.
So little old Josh was like, "Whoo!" He was all aflutter. But
hilarious.
So I mean, way back book reader, got that knowledge.
You're an old school reader. Nice.
Yeah, all the fun times.
Cool.
That's all I got for news.
All right. Yeah, light news week. There's not a lot even coming out on the near horizon, really, that I can think of.
No, Leap-wise.
Yeah.
I know it came out in other countries. I think like in Canada and some other countries as Ballerina.
Oh.
Very, very high reviews. Like,
really?
It's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. It's really, really good. Then the American version is called Leap.
Yeah.
Very, very poorly reviewed.
Well, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, the Americanization of it, and it just apparently destroys the series, like destroys the movie. So I'm like, ooh.
What else did they Americanize besides change the title?
Apparently, like all the actors, all completely different. Dialogue's different.
It's a French film.
Yeah,
so they had to dub
it's like French Canadian, and then it got basically completely rewritten dialogue-wise. So it's like, maybe I'll just wait for the actual one to come out, and then I'll probably just do that.
Yeah.
And it may be better better for me.
Any news about Moon and if they're going to put that out on DVD or
not that I've heard.
Release it?
Okay. I want to see Moon. We didn't get to the frickin' one day it was in theaters.
I know, that was lame. The one, and it was only on at one time too, wasn't it? Did they have multiple times?
No, you're right. It was just one time
deal.
Yeah, it's like you have to see it at noon. If you don't, sorry.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, thanks, AMC.
I'll see it once it's out on Blu-ray or streaming.
It looked really good, and the voice cast behind it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely give it a chance. I wish we could have seen it in the theater that day, but it just wasn't going to work out.
It was. So. There was no way. That was D&D day, and oof,
too many things.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll get there.
Indeed.
I mean, other than that, we've got some hopefully some interviews working out soon.
Yeah, man, we got some exciting stuff in the works. It's gonna be awesome.
That's all I got.
Hints and clues.
And spots on. That's all we're gonna say on that front.
Nice.
That's about that's.
When does Trollhunters season 2 start?
Right now we don't have anything. It's just supposed to be later in 2017. That's the only info that we have. But I don't think they've recast Jim yet. So.
Well, they're running out of later in 2017, so hopefully soon.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Yeah. The first season, was it longer than 13 episodes?
Yeah, it was it was basically 2 seasons. It was 24, 26.
Okay. So then it got renewed for 13. I hope it gets renewed for more than that. I want more.
It probably will.
It's like the only show that's current that I'm actually watching.
Yeah.
So I need there to be more. And I need it to be there now.
I agree. It needs to be here.
Yeah.
Especially with no Game of Thrones till like 2019. I'm like going through withdrawals. But I think
seriously till 2019?
Yeah.
Holy cow, man.
It takes them a long time to like with this one. The reason is because they're like, okay, we're gonna film because we want everything to be kind of authentic. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna film in the winter. So when everything looks dark.
Oh.
So they're like, because they film a lot in Norway.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, okay. So, and, Northern Ireland and places like that. So like, okay, let's wait until these get, like, cold, and then we can do that. So the scheduling is supposed to be October of this year till, like, August of next year. That's the filming time frame.
Weird.
Well, I mean, it's also going to be, like, they're going to be 6 episodes, but they're all supposed to be, like, feature film length, so, like, 2 hours. So...
That makes sense. So it'll take a while to... It's weird, though, that they don't just, like...
And that's just...
Put 2 out and then wait 6 months and put 2 out. And instead of waiting 2 years
why would they do that? Why? So you would...
I don't know. So you don't have to wait so long.
So you would have 2 episodes and then you're just like, oh... Well, I guess it's kind of like what Japan kind of does with some of their stuff. Like what they did with Digimon. They're like, you get a movie... And then, like, in, 5 months, you'll get another movie. And then in another 5 months, you'll get another movie. Mm-hmm. So, that's how they do it.
Yeah. Instead of waiting 3 years for 3 movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just an
I wish everything
idea.
I wish everything would be like what they did with Lord of the Rings and just film all 3 movies, boom, 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 and put them out, boom, boom, boom. Mm-hmm. That'd be the way to do it.
I wish Lord of the Rings didn't happen, but that's just me.
Why?
Ugh. I was so bored by that.
Oh, well, no one cares what you think.
Apparently not.
No. One of the most successful movie franchises ever.
I understand that I'm alone on this island of not caring about Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's because you're dead inside.
Yes, I'm the one that's dead inside.
Speaking of dead inside, let's talk about the movie.
Oh, revealing your hand so soon. You want to go into it?
I would say it's underrated, but it's overrated. So what is it? What are we watching, Gavin?
The Little Mermaid this week.
Disney's 1989 classic.
Yep, it's almost 30 years old. It's crazy.
Thanks for reminding me of my age.
Oh,
jerk.
Whatever. You're the young one here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the grandpa
50.
on the cast.
But I mean, it was one of those like I've seen it before, and it's one of those. I can wait another 10 years before I see it again.
Yeah, this is one that I don't necessarily feel a strong urge to watch often. But I'm kind of in that same range, 5 to 10 years. It's
it
like,
leaves
okay, yeah, it's
more.
time to watch this again.
Movie leaves more questions than answers.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird because it's so elevated in the Disney canon, and people point to it as the start of the Disney Renaissance era, which led into all those great films in the 90s. And in that way, in that influential way, that kind of historical marker way, it is very important and influential, but it's not half as good as the series of features that followed it, with Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and Lion King. Like, it pales in comparisons to those. And in a lot of ways, there are reasons why. It had a lot of things in its way, during production. And, the animation department was really struggling at that time to save itself because I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the mid-'80s, the animators got kicked out of the animation building on the studio lot, and they were sent to like some crappy little warehouse because
why?
Disney live action was where all the money was, and it was so expensive to make animated films that they were really considering like stopping that. And there's a really good documentary that if anybody out there is interested in Disney history and especially animation history, you'll love it. It's called Waking Sleeping Beauty, and it's about that 10-year period from 1984 when they created their biggest flop of all time, which was The Black Cauldron, all the way through 1994 when they had completely turned around.
Was it the biggest flop of all time?
At that point, it was Disney's biggest animated flop by far. And
but it's not a bad movie.
Well, that's a different discussion.
Gergie.
All the way to 1994, which at that point was the world's most successful animated film of all time, was Lion King. And so that it's all about that huge turnaround, that comeback story that the animation department went through. Now, Little Mermaid is right in the middle of that period in 89, and it's kind of the tipping point. That was their first huge success during that time when they're kind of building the momentum back towards animation. And, for that reason, it's very important. But going back and looking at this movie, and I said this on an earlier podcast, I feel like the character of Ariel she's very beautiful, she's wonderfully drawn, and the music in this movie is fan-freaking-tastic. And I think those are the reasons this is a beloved movie. Outside of that, it's an okay story. It's kind of just a regular story. It's got some really questionable animation.
The opening bit where they're like, let's put Vaseline on the lens or something, make it look really weird. I hated that.
Yeah, you had a really big problem with that. I didn't have as big of a problem with that.
When I asked it, I was like, why does it look out of focus?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
My problem was a lot of the creatures... Okay, you talk about background characters a lot. In this, a lot of the background characters were like the dolphins or, the birds that fly in that very first scene. A lot of those I felt looked terrible.
They all look the exact same. And it's
amateurish.
Let's just... They probably just got a bunch of kids off the street.
It wasn't that desperate. But, it was a lot of... I don't know. It looked amateurish to me in a lot of ways. But you juxtapose it with some scenes that looked fantastic. Some of the, especially once we get to Eric's castle and his kingdom, some of those scenes look
Why
amazing.
does Atlantis look like a dump?
Atlantis?
Yeah.
Oh, where Triton and all the mermaids.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's Atlantis.
I don't know that it's named.
It looks like a dump. It's like crappy looking coral structures, and I'm like,
I didn't think it looked like a dump. It looks naturalistic.
Yeah, it looks crappy.
Okay, all right.
Put some
clean up your castle, Triton.
Exactly. Maybe put some effort into the place that you live. Just saying.
It was an interesting design choice that they made. You're aware of the VHS cover controversy of Triton's castle.
It was very phallic.
Yes. Okay. So you're aware of that. Funny story that Charlie told me. She was 4 when this movie came out and probably about 5 when it came out on VHS. And she has one of her earliest memories is going to the video store, her mom and her renting this video. And she remembers overhearing her mom and the lady at the checkout laughing and joking about this thing on the cover. And she got home when she was looking at the cover and trying to figure out what they were laughing at. And she's like, because I didn't know what one was supposed to look like. She was 5. And so she couldn't figure it out. The way she told it, I thought it was freaking hilarious that, she overheard this controversy and then she looked at it and she didn't know.
I don't know what you guys
and that's what's funny is that, we make this big deal about we're exposing our kids to these things, and kids don't know this stuff. It goes over their head, they don't care. Anyway, sidetrack. I think the greatest thing about this movie, like I said, is the music. I think it has timeless music. I think Part of Your World is one of the greatest songs in the Disney canon.
For whatever reason, I always remembered that song being a lot more epic than it is.
What do you mean?
Like, I thought it was like, and it was like a
big crashes.
Yeah, like
and,
big swells and everything.
Yeah.
But then I was watching it, I was like, oh, that was it.
Yeah, it's much more of an introspective kind of song about longing and,
But I do like how each character had their own, well, not each character, mainly our 2 main characters had their own song that's being hummed or in the background. Whenever we see the, eels or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it Flotsam and Jetsam?
Flotsam and Jetsam, yeah.
We get the... poor unfortunate souls background.
They each have their theme.
And then whenever, Ariel's just like swimming around, it's playing Part of Your World.
Or when Eric's thinking about her, he's playing that on his little flute.
His flute.
Yeah, his recorder. It was... Yeah, I mean, the music is amazing. It's that incredible team of Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, the same guys that wrote Little Shop of Horrors and so many other things. It was... This was at the time when Ashman had just been brought to the studio. He'd been brought in to write a song, I think a song for Oliver. And then they...
Was it Why Should I Worry?
I don't know. That's a forgettable movie. So then they brought him in to work with Alan Menken on Little Mermaid.
Was it the song that the girl plays on the piano that's kind of like Come Sail Away?
Oh, gosh.
That starts off like Come Sail Away and you're like... Are they going to do Sticks?
That's hilarious. And so what they created musically was just absolutely magical. Then they went on after that to do Beauty and the Beast together, and it was right before Beauty and the Beast was released that Howard Ashman died. So tragically, that was the end of the Howard Ashman catalog. Really, he did some work on Aladdin that came out later, but... this is among his most exquisite work. I love everything that they did together on this film. What do you think about the story?
It's very, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. There's no surprises.
It's very
really.
standard.
Yeah.
The themes in the story, I was like, huh. It's a very good thing that Ariel has such a tiny waist to be able to get through anything.
Portholes and things like that.
Anchors. She's able to go through whatever she can. I was like, okay, sure, why not? That's funny. Then Ursula, when she's singing the whole bit where she's about to sign away her soul. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, greedy.
Yeah.
You're already getting her soul if she fails. I mean, right. And you had no plan to let her succeed anyway.
Right.
So it's one of those...
True villain.
Exactly. It's like, that's greed.
Yeah.
Don't do that, kids. But she's like, you got your looks, you got your body. Guys don't care about what you say. They would rather you be quiet. Just, shut up and flaunt it. Right. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Disney. So Disney was, doing this stuff before they were like, maybe we should just kill parents.
Right.
Let's...
Well, also, it's a 16-year-old girl. You're like, holy crap. Like,
how old is Eric?
I
doubt he's 16.
No, but I think he's like 18 to 20. Like I don't think he's like a 27-year-old
I would put him
prince.
In like that 20 to 21 year range.
Maybe. I think he's pretty young too. I mean, they're both pretty gullible in a lot of ways. Yeah. Oh, you're the one. Oh no, you're the one. Oh yeah, you're the one.
You look just like the girl that saved me. Oh, but you can't talk? Nah, you must not be her. Like, really, right. Bruh?
It's kind of silly. What I found interesting is at one point in the movie, it was during the Les Poissons scene, where you said, this is just like Be Our Guest.
Because it is.
And in a lot of ways.
The melody is very much like Be Our Guest.
Yeah, well, it's the same writing duo that did the songs. So
but didn't you say it was Renee
Auberjonois? Yeah.
Auberjonois. I can't ever do that.
Yeah, he's amazing in that scene. But I started to think about the rest of the film. And if you had told me at one point that this came after Beauty and the Beast,
I thought it did
Aladdin,
come after Beauty and the Beast.
Then I would have said, they're just pulling things from all these other films and putting them in this one film, because there are some striking things in this film that I think they pretty much recycled in following films.
When she's like on the thing and she's like part of your world and she like does this thing with the waves behind her, I'm like, she's totally on Pride Rock. Like y'all see that, right?
True.
That's Pride Rock.
I didn't think of that one, but that's very, very much the same. I think Ursula is very much like Scar, especially in the beginning. Like even her voice sounds a lot like Scar, but she's got the same deal where she's trying to pit,
Ursula
father against kid and take over the kingdom, basically. There's the whole thing at the end when she gets all her power and she gets all big. That's basically Jafar turning into the most powerful sorcerer and then the genie.
So we're just gonna say that Disney stole all of their stuff,
its own stuff,
from Little Mermaid.
In a way. Now I think what they did is they're like, okay, there's some good ideas and techniques in these, and they did a much better job with them in those other films, because I think those Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and Lion King are far superior.
Well, yeah, because they had to steal from this, and they stole from this movie, and then they were like, let's make it a little bit better so they don't know that we stole from this movie.
Well, I don't know that was the thought process, but that's kind of the effect. But I thought that was really interesting, and some of the songs were very similar, like you said. I found that very interesting. Now, for me, I don't like Flounder is kind of annoying, and I'm sure you found him annoying because you don't like stupid side characters.
I hated the stupid bird more.
Oh, Scuttle?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Buddy Hackett. He's great.
I don't care who it is. It's an annoying character.
I liked Scuttle because he's kind of
that could have been the greatest actor ever created in Sam Neill, and I still would have thought it was a boring character.
Wow, that is saying something there.
That Sam Neill is the greatest human being ever. You're right.
Yeah, that is saying something.
He's right up there. Right up there.
With Johnny Young Bosch?
No. Casper Van Dien.
Oh, yes.
It's Johnny Rico.
Of course.
My other boy.
Yeah, so I don't like Flounder. But other than that, I feel like all the characters are pretty good in this. I like the character design. I don't think there's a really bad character design in this outside of Flounder because he looks a little too cartoony for the rest of them.
Yeah, and he's also like super big compared to all the other fish.
Yeah, he's kind of bulbous.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling the Flounder design, but all the other character design I think is pretty damn good.
Well, I mean, for a movie that's based off a ride at Disneyland,
I know.
I mean, it's not bad. I think it's better than the Pirates one.
You did that on purpose. I think it's some of their best character design when it comes down to it, and I can't really wrap my mind around why it doesn't work for me as a whole in a lot of ways. And I think, to me, it comes down to back to the story where it's two kids and they're both kind of dumb.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's one thing that I was gonna ask whilst we were watching.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a Stewie Griffin thing? Are we pretending that all these fish can't talk when they're singing "Kiss the Girl"? Like, are we pretending that none of this is going on?
Right.
I mean, there's a crab singing. There's all kinds of things that are somehow speaking English.
Right.
Or are they all singing in like their native tongue? So it's like that. Is that what it is? I don't understand.
Again, I think they break their own rule because I think for the majority of the movie, because
even Eric is like, oh, did you hear something? And then she's like, it's Ariel. He's like, is your name Ariel? And she's like, yeah. And you're like, okay, so he can obviously understand what's going on.
in that one moment.
But then
because I think the rest of the film we're led to understand that animals can understand each other, but
and she
we
can,
can't
and
hear.
she
And
can
she
understand
can because
them
she came
because
from them.
she-
Yeah, but in
she
that one
came from
moment,
them.
well, you know, she was one of them.
She's from under the
She
sea.
speaks fish,
She
and
speaks the fish.
yes, and there's that one moment where he gets it, and that's where they break their rule. And I don't. Of course, there's no explanation.
Oh.
When she gets turned into a human and then is raced from like 1,000 feet down straight up to the surface, a human would die because their blood would boil. She learns to walk real quick, which that wouldn't happen.
Hey, animals in the wild learn. You said she was from the animals. Animals
That's
in the
true.
wild stand pretty quick.
That's
It's just our stupid little
a
kids.
good point, but she was not an animal that would have been born with any of that instinct. You know? So there's
Maybe.
that.
We don't know.
There's the biggest question of all is who did the potty training once she got legs? There's a lot of questions here, man. A lot of questions. But there's some really great stuff in this. And the thing that I love watching in this, there's two things that I love watching, and it's character animation for Ariel and for Ursula. Ariel was done by Glenn Keane, who's like one of the superheroes of animation during that time. He also did Ratigan. He did The Beast. He did Pocahontas. He did some of the most amazing characters. And his animation of Ariel, especially in all the swimming and all that, I just think is fantastic. And it's just incredibly well done. And then Ursula is just her movement, her style, her panache. I think they're some of the greatest animated characters I've ever seen. So for that alone, I like watching the movie, and then you add the music to it. I still think it's a winner.
I think Rob Minkoff worked on Ursula.
Rob Minkoff.
Yeah, the director for Lion King.
I think I wrote them down.
I think he may have worked on it.
It doesn't sound right to me.
Well, I mean, he may not be credited for it, but that doesn't mean he didn't work on it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I didn't write her
She's like,
animator
make
down.
her look like she's in drag.
Yeah. Well,
Or make him look like he's in drag. Who knows?
Yeah. So I mean,
it's a very ambiguous character.
Speaking of drag, she was actually, a lot of her design was based on a drag queen named Divine. Have you ever heard of Divine?
She's Divine. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, which makes a lot of sense.
That's like, was her name like Divine, or was it just Divine?
It was just Divine.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's not like Elegance.
She was in like some John Waters films, and like he was famous in the 80s, the drag queen. Do you know who Alyssa Milano is?
Yes, I know.
Okay. Do you know what show she was on in the 80s?
Party of Five.
No. That was in the 90s, and she was not on that show. Who's the Boss is the show she was on. Anyway, she was a very popular child star and then teen star during those years, and they actually used her as the basis for Ariel's body type, which I thought was interesting. And apparently Ariel's face has a striking resemblance to Glenn Keane's wife. So he basically animated his wife on Alyssa Milano's body, which is kind of weird.
He animated a 16-year-old version of his wife on Alyssa Milano's body.
Yeah.
Marrying another guy. Like you do.
Another thing I found interesting is that this actually marks the very last time in Disney animated history that they traditionally hand-painted the cells. Every movie after this, they used a digital program called CAPS to paint all the cells. So this is the very last time that they had people with brush on cells actually filling in color. So in a lot of ways, this is a kind of a landmark movie. I mean, it kind of changed the future and kind of capped off the past of Disney animation. So
it was literally like the Renaissance.
Pretty much. Now, I think the Renaissance started a little earlier.
With the Great Mouse Detective.
I would definitely say Great Mouse Detective.
Some would say a really good period piece.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That others would say, no, Josh, shut up.
It's top 6.
It doesn't matter. It's not top 5.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so that was the first one they did after the Black Cauldron. which made them, dude, the Black Cauldron lost in the box office to the Care Bears movie.
Care Bears are very popular, bro.
I know, but it was a crap movie.
Did you see the Care Bears movie?
Why would I see it?
Well, here's the thing. What if it was like the animation version of Raisin Cane? Not Raisin Cane's. That's a delicious restaurant. Citizen Kane.
Well, it could be, but the animation is crap. Anyway, then they went into
But they've got
Oliver
Gurgi. They've got Gurgi and the Lost Disney Princess.
Yeah, what's her name?
I don't remember.
Aeon Way. It's like
it's weird
thing. Yeah, old English name. They went into Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Oliver after that, and that's one of the obstacles that Little Mermaid had, is that it was forced to take a back seat to those two productions. So they were kind of, half in production for years.
So was Oliver the first movie that didn't use the cell shading? I think the
No. It was after Little Mermaid, then everything after that.
Oh,
I'm talking about the films leading up to Little Mermaid. Was Oliver before Little Mermaid? Yeah, I'm talking about the films leading up to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You thought it was after?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Because it's stupid.
It is kind of stupid.
It's
one of my least favorites.
Well, it seems like that would be along those lines, like during the time of, what's that stupid movie? Homeward Bound?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was too much later. I think that was the early 90s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Like, I figured it would have been in that, and they're like, oh, pets.
Yeah.
Talking animals. Let's put the talking animals in there.
Yeah, it was before that.
Because there's talking pets, and then there's like, anthropomorphic characters, so they're completely different. So it's like, oh, let's maybe make the dogs talk.
Yeah, this is more in the vein of like Lady and the Tramp than Zootopia.
Oh yeah, Lady and the Tramp was a movie.
Mm-hmm. It's a good movie.
Came out in '94.
No, you like Lady and the Tramp, right?
That's all right.
It's a great movie.
Kind of
a racist scene with the Siamese.
Yeah,
cats.
I my mind automatically went to We Are Siamese, and I'm like, ooh, maybe not.
There's complete cultural insensitivity.
I didn't want to bring it up. I was gonna let Gavin do it.
Well, hey, I'm not gonna spin Disney as this perfect thing.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, what do we have left to talk about Little Mermaid? Any other points you want to hit?
No.
Do you know that Jodie Benson still voices anything they ever do with Ariel? Like if there's any a video game or a commercial or anything, she still does the voice.
So she still voices everything?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. So you have that consistency. Because a lot of the characters, you hear them now, and it's like, oh, they brought somebody in to like impersonate that.
So is she going to be in whatever that's called?
Yeah, they got all the voice actors back for that. All of them.
Is Ming Na in there?
Is that Mulan?
Yeah.
I think so. I didn't see the scene.
She's not a princess. I don't.
Oliver went to that panel. I didn't, so I didn't see the scene to know who's in it.
She's not a princess. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Mulan's not a princess.
Is she included in that franchise, the Disney Princess franchise?
Probably.
I don't know.
It's weird.
It's been a while since I've looked.
Like half the princesses on there aren't like real princesses. Just because you marry into royalty.
Yeah. So Nala shouldn't be a Disney princess?
Oh no, she's Mufasa's kid.
So Disney incest?
Yeah,
the Disney incest line?
It's like Game of Thrones. It's okay. They're Targaryens. They're both blonde.
It's hilarious. Did you know that Jim Carrey auditioned for Eric?
He didn't get it.
The part. Yeah. B. Arthur was the original person they intended for Ursula.
That would have been good. Yeah, that would have been good.
She turned it down. I think
Pat
Carroll,
now I want to hear B. Arthur's sound test.
It'd be kind of cool, huh? I don't think she even did a sound test.
Oh, man.
But I think Pat Carroll was perfect. I love her performance. It was funny. 2 expos ago, I was hanging around the vendor area, and they were clearing out this artist booth, and they were like, guys, we need you to clear out. We're gonna get this signing started right away. And I was like standing right there. I just happened to be there. I'm like, what is this? And I saw this sign. It said Pat Carroll. I had no idea who Pat Carroll was. I had no clue. And this lady next to me spoke out to the crowd. She's like, we're gonna get started real quick, and I can't wait to meet all of you. And it was Ursula's voice that came out of this lady. I was like, oh, it's Ursula. Oh my gosh. Like, that is her real voice. If you've ever heard her in interviews, she is Ursula. She's not putting on a voice at all. So when that voice came out of this lady standing right next to me, I had a little moment. It was kind of awesome.
Did you go get her autograph? Or,
I did
or just
not.
say, hey, thanks.
I
really
was
liked
so
you as
surprised and too shy in the moment. I was just like, wow, that was kind of cool. And I walked away.
Like a man.
Yeah.
Walk away.
I'm not brave like Liam to walk right up to Clements and Musker and like shake their hands and say, you guys are awesome. I'm too chicken a lot of times.
Oh, well. All right, so you want to rate?
Yeah, let's rate it. Let's go.
I can't talk.
You can.
3 dippers.
3. Okay.
Sure.
I'm surprised. To me, I'm putting this slightly higher. I'm going to give it a 3.5. And a lot of it is for historical reasons. I think it's an important film. And I do like it. I do come back to it. Not every year, but every few years, I come back to it.
I mean, I'm sure when I have little Kane running around, they'll probably watch it.
Yeah. And their favorite character will be Flounder, and you'll be like, oh,
I'll be like, okay, time to get a new kid. I'll put that one out on the doorstep and be like, I don't want this one no more.
Defective. Take it back.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Well, maybe you'll like the next Little Mermaid we watch better.
I think I will.
So we're going to end the month on Ghibli's version of Little Mermaid.
Is that what we end the month on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's a good way to end it.
In Swimtember? Swim Fan Timber?
Not Swim Fan Timber. That's a completely different movie.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just go with Swim Timber.
Okay, Swimtember. Not Sea Timber?
No, Swim Timber.
Swimtember. Okay. I can get down with that.
We should do never mind. All right, so top 5?
Yep.
And now for another top 5.
All right, so for this top 5, we decided to do our top 5 animated fish.
Yes, we did.
Because, it makes sense.
So this will be the finale to our show. I get a dead-faced look from Josh.
The dead fish face look.
The dead fish face look.
Oh, okay. Our number 5 from Fox's, I think it's Fox. Fox's animated series, American Dad, comes Klaus the Fish.
I couldn't remember where you were going with this one. Klaus the German fish, right?
It's a German fish, yeah.
I haven't watched a whole lot of that show. Have you watched much of it?
Not really. Not a whole bunch.
It's weird. I feel like
they've got Klaus the fish, and then they've got the alien that kind of sounds like Mr. Templeton the rat from Charlotte's Web.
Yep. I mean, it's entertaining. The show's entertaining when I've seen it. I don't ever see it because I don't watch live TV, and we're not buying the DVDs of that.
We should do what's on Hulu and Netflix.
It? Oh, cool.
We should do top 5 animated rats because I want Templeton on that list.
Yeah, and you'll probably want Mickey on that list.
Do I want Mickey on that list?
Yeah, no, you'll call him a rat, but you won't put him on your list.
He's a rat.
Yeah.
Well, mouse rats. Top 5 bands. Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
A little Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, yes.
The one and only Jabberjaw.
I can't believe you and Corey made us put this on the list.
Well, yeah, because Corey knows who Jabberjaw is.
He does.
You know who else knows who Jabberjaw is?
You
Brady
too.
also knows who Jabberjaw was.
He remembered once you showed him the
picture.
picture.
Well, yeah, because he was like, I don't
right.
remember the name Jabberjaw, but then we were like, look, here's a picture. Oh, yeah, the shark from Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh, he was in Josie and the Pussycats? Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was during that time.
He had his own show, though,
Yeah,
right?
That was during that time when, everything Hanna-Barbera just intersected.
Yeah.
Like Josie and
like
the
how
Pussycats,
every star at the network showed up on Gilligan's Island.
What now?
You were singing, so it doesn't matter. I've never seen this character ever, aside from the couple of images you've showed me on your phone.
He just goes, no respect, no.
And is that all he ever says?
That's like his catchphrase.
It's his catchphrase.
But
But he has like dialogue, right?
Yeah, he talks.
Okay. What is he? Tell me about Jabberjaw.
Shark.
Well, I know, but what does he do? Like, what's his story?
He's like a cowardly shark man who helps. He's basically.
So he's a shark man.
Does
he have legs?
No, he's got fins.
Oh.
He's basically like Shark Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's afraid of everything.
And Shark.
And useless.
Was it Punch Buggy? Is that his name?
Another character that only you remember.
Other people remember. Stupid things. Number 3, we went a little Studio Ghibli.
Nice.
And went with Ponyo.
Oh, little Ponyo.
Technically, she is kind of a fish at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she's definitely a fish at the beginning.
But it's weird because like she also has all those brothers and sisters that are also fish, but then they're somehow like waves. Mm-hmm. But then I all think they get like captured and eaten. I don't know. I don't understand. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm glad we got that one on the list, even though Corey hasn't seen it yet. I think he'll enjoy it once we see it.
He will soon.
Yep, he will very soon.
Puberty over here.
So yeah, even though Corey's not here, we didn't mention it, but we all did come up with this list together.
All
3 of us. So.
Because Corey
his
helped
input
me.
was involved. That's why Jabberjaw's here.
That's why
Otherwise,
Jabberjaw's
he wouldn't
here.
be.
And Klaus is here.
Yeah.
And why the number 2 is here from Pokemon.
Oh, yes.
The worst of all the Pokemons. The one and only Magikarp.
Why is he the worst?
He doesn't do anything. He doesn't attack.
Oh.
Like his attack is Splash, and it's not very effective.
Which works if you're fighting a lava monster like in Moana.
Nope, doesn't work at all.
No?
Nope.
Oh. But didn't you show me he turns into some giant monstrous fish?
He turns into a Gyarados.
And then he splashes bigger?
Well, I mean, like then he uses actual attacks and stuff.
Oh, so he does attack once he turns into that.
Yeah, he has to turn into a Gyarados first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not included in Magikarp's character?
Like he literally, like in the anime, he's just like, bloop. He like flops and it's like, blip, 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 and that's it.
What?
Yeah, that's it. That's all he does. That's Magikarp.
Okay.
He goes carp, Magikarp.
There's just so much on this list I don't know
that's
what it is.
That's fine. Honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my favorite's in the honorable mentions, and I'm sad about it.
Gavin's favorite, Marlin from Finding Nemo.
No, that's not it.
Cleo.
Yes.
The goldfish. We already have one goldfish on the on here, and it's Klaus because he talks.
Ponyo's kind of a goldfish.
Yeah, she talks too.
Yeah.
She's like a red fish.
Yeah.
She's got orange hair. I guess whatever. I don't know what this is. Mr. Limpet.
Yeah, it's a character that was in a live action and animated film starring Don Knotts, and Don Knotts gets turned into a fish.
Cool.
Mr. Limpet. Who is an Easter egg in the Little Mermaid ride. You see him in the Under the Sea scene hiding behind some seaweed.
Oh.
So, little nugget for you Disney Parks fans. If you're riding the ride, look for Mr. Limpet.
We also have Bruce the Shark from Finding Nemo.
Which I like. Fish are friends, not food.
Not food. And then from Nickelodeon, SpongeBob SquarePants, Mrs. Puff herself, the driving instructor.
Nice.
And then, for some reason, Merlin as fish is on the list.
Yeah, he turns into a fish in that scene where they're turning into things.
Ooh,
so,
yay!
That's the best scene in that movie.
No, the squirrel scene is the best scene in that movie.
The squirrel scene's okay.
Squirrel scene.
No,
because
battle between him and Madam Mim.
That poor little squirrel girl falls in love with Arthur as Squirrel Boy, and then it breaks her heart when he turns back into into regular boy, and she's all crying, and you're like, oh, poor squirrel girl.
Oh.
I'm hurt inside now. I don't think I could do the number 1.
You can.
It hurts inside.
No, you're
I'm very
good.
sad for poor squirrel girl.
You'll get over it.
Okay.
Compose yourself. Deep breath. And
You got this. Think happy thoughts. Think of a beautiful... Okay. Pinocchio.
Shout out to Peter Pan.
Our number 1 from Disney's. I'm sorry. It's Pixar, but guess what? They're owned by Disney.
Yeah, but
so technically, Disney's
Pixar Studio made it, not Disney Studio. But keep going.
But so Pixar Studio owns it. They made it? Does Disney own Pixar Studios?
Yes.
So Disney's.
Okay, Josh, I'm going to give you this one because
I'm right.
You'll do it until you get your way.
Well, I mean, I don't have to just do it. I mean, like nothing I'm saying is incorrect.
Ever.
Disney's.
Keep going.
Finding Nemo, the one and only Dory.
Yes, Dory indeed. In that first film, I think she's freaking hilarious. There's just enough Dory. Ellen DeGeneres' performance as the airheaded forgetful fish is perfect. I think she's great in that first movie. When I heard that, and I didn't really like Finding Nemo as a movie. It was one of my least favorite Pixar's. So when I heard that they were doing Finding Dory and they were going to make a movie all about Dory, I was super excited, then super let down. But in that first movie, Dory's fantastic. So, and I think we all three voted for her. She was the only one I think we all three voted for. So
yep. That's why she was number one, because all three of us.
She's a great character. I really do love that character. I just don't think she's strong enough to carry a whole movie. And if it wasn't for Hank, I would have been totally heartbroken about that.
Was that
movie.
Coach?
No, that was Ed O'Neill.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bundy.
Al Bundy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Sorry, I get Craig T. Nelson and...
Yeah, that's Mr. Incredible.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's Coach.
Yeah.
Cool. Remember Coach?
I do. My dad, that was one of his favorite shows. I have clear memories of my dad.
This episode is just full of like really
old school
TV references.
Started with Who's the Boss, and now we're on Coach.
Well, I think we started with some other stuff beforehand.
Did we?
Cleopatra 25, bro.
Oh yeah, Andromeda. Hilarious.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Sweet, man. So we got to come up with some other top fives that are sea themed for the month. That one was weird. When we first said, "Oh, let's do animated fish," I thought, "Oh, we'll be able to come up with tons."
And there's
this was hard,
none.
Very hard to come up with.
Well, I guess we're just gonna, for the next top five, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Oh, nice. I like what you did there. Awesome. All right, man. I think that's about it.
Yeah, not anything else. Yeah, we should probably get Rob Minkoff on an episode since he did Lion King.
All right.
That'd be cool.
I'm down with that.
We could talk about him.
I'm down with that.
Maybe he could bring the ukulele and he could play again.
That would be cool.
That was pretty cool.
That would be very cool.
That was a good D23 panel.
That
and
was
we had
awesome.
good seats.
We did.
Because some guy went and stole seats for us.
Yeah, some awesome dude did that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Hercules panel was the only panel that we didn't have good seats, but we still had good seats, but they weren't on the floor.
Right.
Every other panel that we went to, we were on the floor.
But that is the panel that broke your foot.
Exactly. That's why it was worse. So it's the worst of the panels. It was a great panel, but leaving was not good.
Oh man, that stinks, man. I felt bad for you. Next time you'll be there with a healthy foot.
Yes. I don't know if there's going to be a next time.
No, next time at Disneyland.
Oh, yeah.
You'll go back to
Disneyland. Yeah, I'll go back to Disneyland. I don't think I'll go back to D23. That was not my cuppa.
Yeah, there was not enough of the things you were there for.
Yeah.
The Disney television and things like that.
I know. That was very surprising that there was just nothing there. I was thinking it was going to be, oh yeah, this is the Disney television area. We're just nothing but Disney TV.
Yeah, and I think
I was thinking it was going to be more like a Comic-Con type thing where we got panels of Star, panels of this, and there was just nothing.
Yeah, I think it speaks to some of the stuff we've already talked about on earlier episodes where the Disney television stuff, it's kind of the cast-off department. They don't get a lot of marketing, a lot of merchandising, they certainly don't put anything out on DVD.
Nope.
So at a convention like this, it's like, yeah, they're going to do they got a big new thing with DuckTales, so they'll do a DuckTales panel. But outside of that, they're not going to really push a whole lot, and I think that's unfortunate because there's a huge fan base of people like you, and especially kids that, would really love to see more of that stuff when they go to the convention. So I'm really surprised by it, and
they don't care about us.
Yeah, but it makes sense. That's why you don't really see yourself going back.
Yeah, maybe
I'll be there.
Maybe when Disney does their streaming thing, maybe they'll be like, you know what, we'll put all this old stuff on there. Mm-hmm. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be
if
cool.
they did that and they're like, and I can watch Kim Possible again. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, okay, Disney, you got it. And that could maybe spur some sort of interest back in all these old things.
Yeah,
and we should probably try and get Christy Carlson Romano on an episode too.
I would actually be interested in seeing those 90s Mickey Mouse Club episodes where they had Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and Justin Timberlake.
So the old Mickey Mouse
Club. Like, and Kerry Russell, and who's the other one? There's one other one that became super famous. Oh, it wasn't Ryan Gosling on there. I think it was him. But just to see all those kids like before they were household names, I think that would be really interesting to me. But it'd be cool. You're not going to get the Disney streaming service though, are you?
I don't know. It depends on if they put
have TV, you might.
If they put the old TV stuff on there, yes.
Yeah.
And probably just for like a month, and I'll watch them, and then I'll cancel it, and then it's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, man, jury's still out on that. I have
because I would love to go back and watch stuff like Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good show.
Maybe like old Aladdin, the old Little Mermaid show that they had. Oh, by the way, congrats to Ariel and Eric for getting together and having a kid.
What?
Yeah. Did you not see like all like the other like 2 or 3 Little Mermaid sequels they did?
No.
Yeah, it's about like her kid.
The only sequels
voiced by Tara Strong.
The only Disney sequels I've ever seen are Rescuers Down Under, because it was released in theaters, and then Aladdin 2 and 3. Those are the only
so you didn't
sequels
see
I've ever
Pocahontas
seen.
2?
No.
The one where John Smith like seems like he dies at the very beginning of the movie, and you're like, oh no, John Smith's died. And then this other dude comes over, and he's all trying to woo Pocahontas, but she's like, no, I love John Smith.
So she went to England and got a Valley Girl accent?
Yes.
Is Mel Gibson John Smith in that?
I don't know. Probably not. It's direct to DVD.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, it was direct to VHS.
Right.
All right, Gavin, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Gavin Otteson Art, on the web, gavinottisonart.com.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. You can find the podcast on Instagram at Animation Station Podcast.
On Twitter at Animate Podcast.
On Tumblr at Animation Station Podcast.
Our Facebook page, Animation Station Podcast.
You can also find us on our website, www, which stands for World Wide Web, .animationstationpodcast.com. You can find all of our episodes on iTunes.
And Stitcher.
And on the podcast tab of our website.
Mm-hmm. That was good. We nailed it.
Yeah.
I like it.
One take. That's all it took.
With clever editing.
We're not going to tell you where you can find Corey because he's not here.
He's
so
out
when
there
you're not
in the
here,
world
you don't
being
get
majestic.
to pimp yourself.
Yeah. It's the majestic one?
The majestic one.
Yeah.
Or the majestic Corey. I don't remember.
The majestic Corey.
The majestic
I think
Corey?
that's it, yeah. On all the things. Just search majestic. Surely that's the first thing that'll come up is him.
Yeah. Just put in MC and it'd be like, oh. He would ascend from the heavens like manna.
Right.
All right. So, we good to go?
We're good, man.
All right. So for the Animation Station Podcast, I'm Josh.
I'm Gavin.
Remember, kids, just keep swimming.
Made you look.
Bye-bye, little butterfly.
Thank you for listening to the Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Animate Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And join the conversation at SecretSuperheroClub.com, where you can connect with our podcast friends, Cloud City Cast, Getting Into Comics, and Shaun of the Gathering.
Did you check out any of the new Force Friday stuff?
No, like I care.
I know.
Everyone like, oh look, it's a pork. I'm trying to find a pork.
Yeah, I don't get the whole pork
know what
thing.
that is.
The one that I'm interested in is in the BB-9E. Like that. That's pretty cool.
The little black BB-8.
Yeah,
he looks dope.
The Empire version.
I hope that's going to be Kylo's little roll around ball.
Well, what I hope is that we actually have a droid nemesis in this. Like, I want to see because R2 never had an enemy.
Yeah, they were called all of the battle droids.
Yeah, but they didn't have like a somebody that was actually like their rival or something. I kind of hope that BB-8 gets a rival out of it. I think that'd be kind of cool. Just because,
but then you're gonna root.
Different.
You're gonna root for that cute little black droid, and he's either gonna get destroyed. Well, no, it's Disney. They'll probably just reprogram him, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm happy now."
I don't know. I'm not sure. Neither of them will get destroyed. They'll both be fine.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything about BB-8. They already killed Han. They wouldn't kill BB-8.
No, I know, but the new black droid will be fine, too.
Oh, they'll probably kill it.
No, it'll be fine.
They'll probably kill it.
They'll sell more toys if they keep him around for episode 9.
Yeah, I'm not saying they kill him in this episode.
Oh,
I'm saying they're gonna kill him.
Oh. We'll see. I just hope I hope he plays a part, because remember they did that. There was a black Empirical? R2 unit that they promoted and made toys of for episode 7.
Yeah, and it was in there for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was like not even a thing, kind of like Phasma, and it's all this marketing behind something that thing. So I'm hoping they're gonna do something with it. I don't know.
Who knows, man?
I think it looks cool. I'm excited about it.
I
don't have the money to buy all those Sphero things. But
I care
if
not
did,
about
I would.
Porgs. I don't know. I don't even know what that is. I think it's ugly looking.
Yeah, I've just seen like pictures of them. I don't really know.
And everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta collect all 17 of them," and I'm like, "Why?" Like, it's the same Funko Pop. It's the same number, and they're buying like 4 of them. Like, look, I got all 4. We're like, no, you got 1 4 times. It's still number 128 on all the packages.
Yeah,
you
all
got
the Funkos
one.
are the same to me anyway. They only ever made 1 Funko Pop.
I don't think so.
Pretty much, they're all the same.
Except,
I've never understood that whole collectible, like, we're going to do one shape and then just apply different features to it thing. Like, I don't get those. It doesn't appeal to me at all.
That's because you have no imagination.
I got plenty of imagination, but I don't get it. They've got it figured out, though, because they're making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I mean, Disney does it with the Vinylmation and Zoom and all that stuff.
The Vinylmations, I never liked those. They look stupid. Like,
It's
they
the
look
same as Pop.
no, they look different.
No, I know it's a different shape, but it's the same concept.
I know it's the same concept, but for whatever reason, the Funko Pops actually look like a thing. It's where, like, the Vinylmations, they look all ugh.
Yeah, well, you're trying to apply it to a weird version of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah,
and it's just, yeah. I never understood it.
I never got, and
I still don't get the Tsum Tsum.
I don't get the Tsum Tsums either. They're just like squished.
They're little pills.
Like, know what we should do? We should take. You know what happened? It was probably someone at a Disney store, and they were really, really bored, and they got a poster tube. And remember when they had used to have that big, huge pool of like all the stuffed animals? Uh-huh. They probably just was like, let's just stuff one in there and see what happens. And we're like, oh, this is kind of cute. Maybe we should. And they took a picture, and we're like, look at the fun we had at the store. And Disney was like, tubular animals. Let's do that. That's how Tsum Tsums were created.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm gonna hack Wikipedia. I'm gonna put that on.
You should. That would be awesome. I'd believe it if I read that story on Wikipedia. I would believe it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sounds legit.
It does. That's Balderdash.
It's Balderdash. That's a fun game.
It is a fun game. I like it.
Why don't we ever play games, Gavin?
We do. We play D&D for 7 hours at a time.
But, I mean, we haven't played D&D in years.
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it'll be years before we play again.
It'll be 2 weeks before we get to play again.
Yeah, years. In D&D time, we will be old men.
No, in D&D time, no time at all has passed.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, it'll be like
it'll
5 minutes
It'll
later.
be 5 years in the real world, and it's been like 2 weeks.
Right.
In D&D.
In that time, you swung your sword.
No, you swing your sword. That's all in like a minute.
I know, I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, I know you're exaggerating.
Yeah.